Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, so good to share energy with you today. So, you have been helping someone, and they've been competing with you. Let's talk about exactly what we need to do if that's a scenario that you've seen or experienced, or this resonates and has ever been true. Thank you for inviting me in, guys. So good to share some energy with you. Come on in. If you need to work with me, if you'd like to work with me, if you're guided to work with me, you can find my information in the description box below. Okay, so let's get into this. You have been putting a lot of time and energy into someone. Maybe it's a friendship. You may not have couched it as anything that was vampiric or anything of that nature. You were just doing what you're guided to do, you little earth angel, you. Always loving our folks, always helping people, and always doing exactly what you're dispatched in to do, what you're called in to do. And have they been actually taking your help? Now, you'll notice this, especially in like maybe long-term friendships and connections, or maybe a coworker that you've been next to and sat next to for a period of time. You may notice it in any dynamic, okay? But you may be giving a lot of time and attention to someone because you want to see them up level, you want to see them thrive, and they are very okay seeing you stay wherever you are. There's a couple of different things here. People definitely want you to succeed, but not further than they maybe ever expected you to. They don't want you to go past the projection or the idea of the station in life that they had expected out of you. And when that is occurring, what you're dealing with is someone who will go out of their way to spite you, and their jealousy will seep out, and you will feel it, you will see it, and you will know it. And it may take a while because it's really not the way that we think. We really want to be of service. For the most part, right? And if we've integrated our shadow and our light, we can just see when things are going to go awry. We can see when a relationship that a friend or a family member might be in is not it. We can see when that person at the job might be living a little bit reckless. And in the spirit of this Aries moon that we have right now, where there's a lot of fiery energy that is abounding, it's important to understand that you can't fight everyone's fight for them. You can't pick up everyone's, cross and carry it. And be discerning about the people that you do lend that helping hand to, because they might want to take a hatchet and not bury it, but bury it into you. And I'm not trying to stoke paranoia. If you're on this video, you've had this experience or it resonated with you to some degree, that someone was acting absolutely crazy or unhinged, and it was something that maybe surprised you. And that's the thing, that counter element of surprise, because you're actually putting in time and attention and really trying to raise up someone's vibration, and they have gone rogue. They might have even come in initially with the most genuine interest and energy regarding you and the relationship and the direction that it was going, and then something happens and it takes a turn, and you are the last one that is knowing, okay? And so that's why your angels really wanted me to chat with you guys tonight, to remind you to make sure that someone is offering you the same level of love and light that you are offering them. Because we'll be giving all of this love and light to people, and they are not even trying to not only not be our friend, they actually want to be our enemy. And so you have to decide how you want to deal with situations like that, because it's sometimes hard to see and sometimes hard to navigate, because our empath heart gets involved, and then we do not want to disengage from whomever out of whatever guilt or whatever the case may be. Now, I think if you're here and you've been in this collective long enough, you've been paying attention, you've been researching, you've been doing your evolving, you've been growing, so your backbone is stronger, you're standing up for yourself, and you realize that having you be the doormat is not the way it should be. So you may have an easier time than you once did, and that's growth. I want you to congratulate yourself, because that's growth. You may have an easier time than you once did of seeing things or standing up for yourself or saying something, but you don't always have to. And this is something I'm learning myself as a fire sign. For me, it could always be the clothesline. The clothesline is a move that's done in football where you literally put your hands out and like someone just like wraps around you. And that's energetically speaking. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend yesterday and she asked me something and I said, no, it's lights out. Once I put lights out on something, I've become very mafioso in my relationship dynamics. I could love you. I'm thinking of Fredo. I'm thinking of The Godfather. I could love you. You could be part of the actual family or my spiritual family. But if you betray me and if you try me and if you go out of your way to be insidious and try to undermine me, or if you want to compete with me and I have to end it, we're ending. And I will literally be raising a glass of the best port afterwards, a little something sweet, because it would be a bittersweet moment. And I'd be like, it's so unfortunate that that opponent had to see defeat, because that's what people become when they come after you in a certain kind of way. And I would pour one out for the dead homie, dead proverbially speaking, but I would do the job that needed to be done, which is to disengage, disembark, and to get away from someone who used to be someone who was too close. Because people that stay that close to you that don't mean you well can do you the most damage. A jealous friend is probably the most detrimental, because not only are they undermining and maybe destroying something, but it also hurts because you allowed them in. So you're dealing with all of this guilt and your own, like, why didn't I see it sooner? Well, because we have to have lessons. We have to have these moments and we have to own it. We have to take emotional responsibility, but we do not have to be the fool to allow people to play in your face repeatedly. Okay, so if someone is getting help from you and then they start to not only, you know, the phrase is bite the hand that feeds them. No, we don't feed everybody. People feed us too, right? But we have the wisdom to say thank you to the people that feed us. The people in my life that I love, I thank them all the time. Whether they feel like they're playing a huge role, a small role, whatever role in my life, I say to them, I see you, I appreciate you, and I thank you. Words of affirmation, that's my primary love language, so that's easy for me to do. But I advise you in this collective to adopt it, even if it doesn't feel exactly easy for you. Because to convey it in whatever way your love language is something that goes a long way, and it lets people know that they are valued and seen, and that's all we really want. But when you're dealing with people that are maybe even saying those words, but then they're behaving differently, you have to start to make an exit plan and set yourself free. You know, there was some great dating advice that I heard once, and it said, if you could not communicate in any way, you know, like you couldn't verbally communicate, and you had to assess the person that you were with, would you know that they loved you? If they couldn't communicate to you and you couldn't communicate to them by actions or deeds or showing up when they say they're going to, or whatever the case may be, would you know that they loved you? See, a lot of us have dated people and been friends with people that have beautiful words and love bombing and whatever, but their actions fall short. And so you can tell immediately what the truth is. And maybe a little side message there for you. But back to those of you that are helping people that are wanting to compete with you. Let's talk about why that happens. Well, it happens because people might be drawn to you. You know, we very much show up as the archetype of Aquarian energy, which is we are healing and also a lighthouse. And if you've ever turned on a light outside in the summer, you know that every bug in the world will be attracted to it. And are the bugs inherently evil? No, some of them are moths. They're harmless, you know? Some of them sting, some of them bite. There's an assortment, right? But the point is that, is it because they want to murder the light? No. And that's something too, after you get out of some of the PTSD and some of the hermit modes, you will come to see and come to realize the truth of, which is that no, not everyone is really, really out to get you, but they will be attracted to you. And when all those bugs are attracted to the light, they are not assessing in themselves if their heart is right. That's not their job to do. Empath, you are the one who has additional discernment and the ability to see through people, even if they think you can't, okay? And everyone doesn't deserve or has earned access to you completely. Everyone can come to the light, but does everyone get to land on it? You got to kind of fight for that space. And I'm not saying you're wanting people to fight for you. I'm saying that they should be proving to you that they are there to do the work that they need to do. because it's not just about you. If anyone's dispatched in, you both have some mutual energy to exchange. But if someone holding up their end of that, or are they wanting to play in your face and compete and complain? So that's a form of draining your energy, is that repetitive complaining about something they may not really want to fix. I'm always paying attention to the people in my life to see how they up level. And usually with my energy attached to it as an earth angel, which is the same is true for you, the acceleration should be rather quick. When I see someone have a repeated stagnation in a certain area, it can be a holdout, right? We all have holdouts, y'all. Y'all look at me. Look at me and look at Oprah, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Oprah talks about her weight being her stronghold of her life, right? So does that mean that I'm an evil person because this is what I've been dealing with all my life and it is my Achilles heel? And for Oprah, it was hers according to her until the magical Ozempic, right? But what I'm saying about that specifically is that we all may have things in our life that have hung on longer than they really should be. But if there's other areas in our life that we can accelerate and move, or get the promotion, or get out of the toxic situation, or change this or that, or quit a habit or three, that's what I mean by pay attention to the people around you and see if they really want to accelerate or if they just want to cling to you, because that is a breeding ground for jealousy. Because what will happen, empath, is a lot of you guys do accelerate. Even if you have a stronghold area in your life, and we all do, you do accelerate, you grow, you achieve the goals that you set your mind to, and boom, glory after glory, story after story, moment after moment, evolution after evolution. If you are juxtaposed with someone who is not moving at that same rate, then the only thing that will be conjured up between the two of you is hate. You guys get it? Because they're going to be like, well, why is she moving faster than me? Or why is he moving faster than me? And how come this is so easy for them? And they must think they're better than me. People start to tell themselves stories. And one of my favorite allegories about this is the volcanic lightning that happens, and imagining villagers thousands of years ago seeing that and telling themselves a story. Does it mean because they're telling themselves a story that you're evil and you're doing whatever they think, because they can't imagine that you're just manifesting and harnessing your energy and moving forward in the way that you're called and guided to? They have to then talk about you, because small-minded people that can't achieve what they want to will only resort to talking about you, okay? So be very, very careful to be proximal to someone who is not committed to growing like you, or that you don't see growth. And everyone's growth is not the same. We do not have the same paths, and so they don't have to be doing the exact same thing you're doing. If you want to train to run a 5K and your friend's training to run a marathon, that would be an aggregate of friendship to be in, because you both have similar goals regarding running, right? But it doesn't mean that the other one is worse or less. That means that one has an ambition to do the marathon and one has the ambition to do the 5K, but you both can entertain and hold space. But if you're friends with someone and you're training to run the marathon and they are a competitive mukbanger, you both are competitive and you might be very good at what you do in your field, but is there any congruency? And let's say they're mukbanging, let's say they're loading videos and it's just not getting traction, but you're getting sponsor after sponsor with your marathon running action, they will start to become jealous of you. Okay? So even though you both are competitive and even though you both have a sport, you are now moving in two different directions, diametrically opposed. And that's when the jealousy will seep in and they will then start to turn against you. Okay? And you might have been coaching them. You might have been calling them like, okay, if you just load 4 more videos, okay, I'm going to come over. I'm going to be running on your treadmill while you're getting your set ready. We're going to be chit-chatting because it's your friend. You love your friend. You want to spend time. You're setting that up. You help them lift a plate higher, all of that. And they appreciate you. You went in like, I bet we can make you the #1 mukbanger within 10 weeks, right? Just like within 10 weeks, they're going to have to be on their feet for that 20-something miles. So they have the same ambition. And a lot of us empaths come in with that same level of ambition, wanting to just see someone win and see them smile. And we want to give them what we have, our magic, a bit of it, and we feed into them. And we are up against all kinds of insidious, quiet resistance resistance because they're watching you maybe accelerating something they haven't yet figured out how to do, and that's okay. We all come to things at our own pace and time, but then they are projecting their disappointment, their resentment, their feelings of imposter syndrome, etc., onto you. And that is not only, it starts off as this cancer, truly a tumor, and at first it's benign, but then it really turns malignant, and it will destroy whatever you're working on. Then you can't focus, and your confidence is shook because you're an empath, you're a sponge. You're actually feeling and hearing the energy of what is being said and unspoken. Okay, so it doesn't matter to what degree your psychic gift works, you can hear excuse me. It doesn't matter to what degree your psychic gift works, you can hear you can hear the undertones, the undercurrents, and let me adjust this here. The undertones and the undercurrents that are happening in any relationship dynamic. And if someone that you are coaching and you're wanting to help win is looking at you and they're treating you less than a friend, you have to just cut it off. I know I say that a lot. It sounds pretty, I got an email and they're like, so your answer for most things is cut it off? And I'm like, yeah, actually, my answer for most things is cut it off. The reason that they said that to me, we had a few email exchanges. And it's so funny because recently I got another email from them and they were really sweet. They kind of like apologized because they were like, it pissed me off hearing that in a lot of your videos because I wasn't ready to do it. Message, and I really appreciate you if you're watching for being so honest with me and kind of spinning the block and just being fair. That's another thing, empath. A lot of times we can see the future and the forest for the trees, and it pisses people off around us because they just can't see. And so they will tell the villager stories that you're crazy until they realize later you were not crazy at all. In any case, I thought that was a really interesting kind of block spin there because the person then eventually had to cut off whatever, I don't know their full story, but apparently they were dealing with some, boundary crossing and someone that was jealous of them and whatever, but they were grandfathered in. Sound familiar, guys? Rinse and repeat. We all know the story. We have lived the story. So the reason that I want you to be absolute and resolute about it is because you didn't see, feel, hear, or know whatever kind of dramatic things they were trying to send your way, whatever kind of toxic seeds they were trying to sow. You got it right. And in order for you to thrive and go run your marathon or be a mukbanger, whichever side of it you're on, you have to have someone who believes in you and who is strong enough in their own confidence and constitution to stand next to you without looking at you and being jealous because you are the light. Because here's the thing that if you know like I do, and this is absolutely right, if you are standing next to someone who is the light, you too will become the light. But the thing about that is, people that are in empathetic roles, positions, if that is their natural proclivity, they've been tested and literally put face down in the dirt and on bended knee by situations in their life that were less than fair, that were actually evil, where no one gave them the benefit of the doubt, where they were treated terribly and outcasted and thrown out, right? So you know what it is to deal with rejection. A lot of people get next to your light and they're like, I want to shine too. I want you to shine as well. But have you gone through your own kind of, we got to pay our dues hell? It's not to say that everyone has to suffer exactly the same way you did. But that suffering is all about testing your mettle and testing your strength and burning the impurities out of your energy so that you can stand the test of time, to be the light, to provide wonderful synergy with someone when you come into connection and relationship. People may want your gift, whatever that may be. They may want your energy. They may want access granted to you. But are they willing to put in the work that you did do? Are they willing to suffer maybe some of the losses that you had to, that you didn't want to? Are they willing to deal with the rejection and the gaslighting and the that you're called to? So they can't just siphon, and if it works for a moment, it may work, but it's not something that sticks and stays because you know your worth. And also, the angels know that they dispatch you in for a certain work. What you will notice is, and I speak this over you in the collective, if you are pure and integral, that if you have someone around you right now, they're going to start to fall away if they are not there to stay and help you glow up and grow up another day. If they are having insidious, quiet jealousies of you and they can't articulate it, that's a bit of a loophole I want you to understand. There are times where people can come to you and say, I'm struggling, your life feels whatever, because that's an opportunity of growth. The God of wonders, the universe, has stretched their heart and said, if you get out of your ego and you go to the collective and you go to this earth angel, and instead of hating on them from afar and wishing everything that they have falls apart, if you actually go to them and you say, you know what, I want to do it your way, or I want to be like this, or I want some of what you have, but I don't want exactly what you have. I want my own thing, but you guys get it, right? But if they confess that, that is a breakthrough right there, and that opens up another portal, and it leads into the next level of evolution. But when they start to pick you apart and devalue you and neg you, then that they now have karma that they have to deal with. And girl, I'm not even trying to get into all that with them. Excuse me, but what I will tell you this is this. If you are trying to teach them and they're competing with you and you're trying to compromise them and they're hating on you and gossiping about you, they're not your friend. And that cutoff is designed to protect you, because the way that haters and people ruin things is from the inside out, a very Trojan horse energy. They come in as this great gift and asset to you potentially, but if their heart's not pure and they're not willing to do what they need to do to be in lock and step with the growth and evolution that was, ordained between the two of you, then they will fall away eventually. And usually they will fall away with jealousy. So be really clear, use your words, speak concisely. And again, this is specifically for people that have been in your life a long time. This is not your new acquaintances and all the rest of that, right? They still have to prove themselves in their own way, but that's a different video for a different day. One of the videos that I think would be of helpful aid too is a video by Black Witch Yaya. She talks about a best friend situation where the best friend was literally putting black magic on her best friend because she became to be very jealous. So I'm going to see if I can find that video and link it below. If you would like to go watch that, watch it at your own discretion. Long story short, the mother was advising her daughter, like, hey, maybe stop telling your friend everything, because what the best friend was doing was eating her blessings via the work that she was doing. She put her in a jar. She did all the things. Now, that's not work that I do specifically, but I definitely know people do it, and I know that it works, unfortunately. So because it's not even about the jar, it's not about the candle, it's not about the items, it's about the intention. It's about the evil eye that people will send to you by wishing unwell for you, by wishing calamity for you, by wishing ugly things. You'll hear people say it all the time, readers, oh, someone put a beauty spell on me, I got a pimple, or this or that. And it may seem like they're just out in boo-boo land, but there is substance to it, because people will look at you and at first they might be enchanted and drawn in, and then they're like, who the fuck is this blah 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 thing she is? Well, you never thought you were anything other than who you were supposed to be. I'm channeling it's like, I don't want to be anything other than what I am supposed to. Just trying to be me. But some people that are not confident in who they are will see what you're trying to do, and it will elicit jealousy. And that's why those cutoffs have to come true, and it has to be something you are willing to do. You need to be like the Godfather, Fredo. I loved you. You might have put a bullet, proverbially, through Fredo's head, or put in the orders from your spirit team instead. But, that doesn't mean you're not without compassion. It just means you will not be adjacent to someone who is weak. What did BS say? I can't fuck with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. That's a weak disease. And it doesn't mean that you and I, empath, haven't been weak at times. But what it means is we've conquered that. It means that we've evolved past that. It means that when we feel it coming in the air tonight, we address that. We say, how can I elevate and be better? I'm not going to be envious of my sister or my brother. I'm not going to be a hater or jealous of this, friend, lover, or mother, or brother, or whatever. I'm not going to be jealous of them. I'm going to see how can I get into alignment. One of the things that I know for sure is that we live in abundance, and people that are in jealousy that want to compete with you are living in lack. There's not enough, but there's always enough for everyone right where you're at. And what I have learned is that I'm happy for people that win, because I know that my win is coming if my heart is pure and I'm happy for them. And people that are jealous do not even understand how to think like that. They only see what you have, they're avaricious, and they want it, and they don't even care if they know what to do with what you have. If they could never wield your gift in a million years, they just don't want you to have it. That's real hater energy. That's real hater energy. So you have to be careful, because those people are all around you and they can see your light from miles away, and they are attracted like the moths to the flame, like the bugs, like the slugs, like the bees. All of it wants to come and see, just wants to come and see. But you have to be resolute and know who you are in your evolved empath energy. And if you sense that competition and or jealousy or envy, be strong. Don't be weak. You don't have that disease. Cut them off. Cut them off at the knees. You have my permission. Cut them off at the knees. Because even later, once maybe they evolve, they get it, they might spin the block and be like, girl, I did not like you. Or I was struggling in that moment. Or you were right. I've had that happen. I've really had that happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but I've had it happen. And you shouldn't do it to have it happen. I don't give a damn. When it's time for me to sharpen my machete, that's my ancestor plan, and to cut someone off on some Queen of Swords type shit, that part, I don't look back. And I don't ask questions, and I'm not like, oh my gosh, on the 3rd day of July, they gave me an apple pie, and they were my very favorite friend. I don't give a damn. If my angels say the jealousy is at a red light, then I'm enacting the abort mission plan. Okay? And I don't look back. And if it's very lovely if they come back later, years later, because I don't let anybody come back around me too close to after, because people really sometimes want to get close to you again just to see if they can finish you. Now, they're always in Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, no, I'm going to always out Mortal Kombat you. Once I identify you as an op, what did Cardi say? If we beef him, we beef him forever. It very much has to be a direct mandate from the Lord for me before I allow someone back around me. Because people that get rejected by you, even if they were jealous and they had no right to be, will always want to find a way to one-up you and get revenge if you allow them to get close to you. Y'all, that's why that Sun Tzu and that Robert Greene is no joke. It's not me trying to tell you to read these books to learn how to be manipulative. I'm telling you to study to show yourself approved so you can escape that shit. Does that make sense? So that you can know what people that are manipulative are doing, what they're like, and how they think. Because we don't really think that way. I had to study. I had to get the manual and say, oh my God, I would never do that to somebody. But I had a lot of people that were more than willing to do it to me. A lot of people that saw my light and thought they should have it for free. You don't get shit for free. I didn't get it for free. You don't get it for free. In any case, that's your message today. When you sense the jealousy or the competition, especially when you're trying to help them, that is a great insult by the gods in the heavens. They hate that. They're like, we're watching. They watch us like Netflix. They're really like, that's too bad. We thought that she was going to choose B instead of A or C instead of D, but she chose to live in the depths of her jealousy, and so it is. And then that's a sentence that's handed down, especially when an earth angel's around. So it's not just like, yeah, everybody deals with these themes, but when you've been doing your spiritual work and you've been reaching for your dreams, and you stop and take time out to be a good Samaritan and help someone with their dreams too, and they try to snake, scorpion, or monkey jump you, then say less is what the universe says. Say less is the universe is taking account of it, but your job will still have to be to stand on business and cut yourself free. All right, guys, so good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.